participants and Honorable Vice Chancellor to this webinar series. Today's speaker is Dr. Mishra. He is serving as a Chief Service Manager at National Bank of Agriculture and Rural Development. He is also serving as Principal of National Bank Staff College, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. I want to take an opportunity to introduce today's speaker to our participants. Dr. M.S. Rao is a gold medalist from IARI in genetics and biotechnology. Besides, he has also done his MBA in finance and management. He also holds a degree in value chain. He is working as a chief general manager with working experience across 5 regions in the country, namely Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Manipur, Jharkhand, and Mumbai. He has been into the consultancy and policy on advocacy on food value chain, program evaluation, NMR, MSME, merger of corporation, credit product design, risk management and digitalization, agri stacks, infra and startup financing, etc. His current interests are digital marketing, net zero, micro strategies, strategic thinking for ecosystem development, artificial intelligence, machine learning application for hyper-location, local marketing, drones in rural and remote sectors. Sir, I'm quite affirmative that a talk on today's topic, that is digital marketing, hyper-local branding of value-added agri-produce on open network for digital commerce, a game changer, will benefit our MBA students, our graduate students of agriculture, and our master students. This talk will boost their innovation, ideation, and thinking. So we are eagerly waiting for your talk. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And first of all, I would like to thank Professor Samashivarao Garu, because when I was heading Manipur Regional Office, my colleague from Mizoram told me, sir, we have a Vice Chancellor, very proactive. He is engaging with the entire ecosystem from banking to development to regulators. He's not a professor unlike another Vice Chancellors. That happened to be a New Year day for Andhrites. So I took initiative to give him a call. That call resulted in further conversations to a point in the next 3 weeks. Our chairman at that time, Dr. Chintala, made a presentation to the seminar, an international seminar organized by that Mizoram. Then, in fact, I had an opportunity to visit Mizoram along with then we were working closely with the chairman of the RRB, and then 3 of us, we initiated a lot of things of taking the technology mediated from the universities to the farmers of Mizoram. Now when sir became the Vice Chancellor, we have been planning to have a kind of a connect with it. And now my role also changed from a Manipur state to the kind of an all India perspective. NABARD Staff College, where all the officers who join NABARD, they get their initial induction with us, and they are with us to the entire journey of their entire professional progress. And they also retire with us with a valediction program with us. So that's a kind of journey we have. NABARD as an institution, all of you know, especially for the students, it's a National Bank for Agriculture Rural Development, carved out from 2 departments of Reserve Bank of India to bring a focus to agriculture credit lending way back in '82 with a special act. Since then, during the last 4 years, to our credit, we are able to change the entire agri ecosystem in terms of formation of the SHGs, whatever you see now. A parallel social investment we started with an experiment in Mairada in 1992 with the Bangalore, with a small 500 women coming together. Now that portfolio, SHG lending itself is around a 3.5 lakh crores portfolio in the country. to a point where the bankers are comfortable lending to women with no security, only the strength of their social securities, much more than a husband who had the agriculture land and tilling the culture. That's a kind of a social innovation NABARD started with, and it became a big movement now. Every state adopted by the entire government of India as a program. What you see as SRLM is nothing but a government taking over the entire initiatives of NABARD, which we started for around 2 decades. Whatever the next sector is, from that bowl of innovation came the microfinancial institutions or fintechs, what we are talking about in the credit space. Second innovation NABARD is credited with is in terms of funding the state government for entire rural infrastructure, whether it is irrigation, schools, universities. I am proud that I am a first batch of BSc Horticulture from at that time AP Agriculture University. I studied from 83 to 87. It became a university. They didn't have any money. Luckily, at that time the principal secretary suggested the vice chancellor, why don't you approach NABARD? We sanction a lot of schools and colleges. Why not a university? We took initiative, and then we funded the entire horticulture university infrastructure brick by brick, which became 2 universities with the division of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So that is another space NABARD is a pioneer. And we also promote the entire rural financial space in terms of RRBs, cooperatives as a supervisor, and we also do refinance at a concessional rate of interest. So NABARD's connect with the entire space is not just RRBs and cooperatives. We also fund all the banks, including ICICs, HDFCs, everybody in the space of agriculture and also services and also MSME space. So and our balance sheet is around 9 lakh crores. Possibly will be touching at 10 lakh crores by this financial year. That gives a common perspective about what NABARD does. Coming back to the topic for today, that's what we discussed with sir. 3 of the passionate projects for transformation of agriculture happens to be digital marketing and hyper-local marketing. ONDC is a kind of a marketplace. So these are the 3 themes we'll be interacting with all of you. In fact, I have a presentation. If we are ready, I can start the presentation, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Hello, you are able to see the screen, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Usually, this is only to aid for the benefit of students I prepared. I may be not using the exact presentation. To begin with, this is the fundamental basic principle. There is a need, there is a want. You can stop me at any point of time, join me in the chat box. Okay. So the need is what the farmers are fulfilling now. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the need is what the farmers are fulfilling by supplying them the grain or a produce or a commodity, what we are talking about. What consumer wants is like a water, it's a Bisleri, packaged one and supplied at a place of his choice. So that is the entire value chain is there, who is taking benefit of the farmer's produce, and then intermediation is what the costs are added to the entire consumer. So our effort of joining these 3 would be how much proportion of this, what consumer paying can be transferred to the farmer is an effort what we'll be interacting with. This is when you look at this entire value mix, a farmer is at a V, this is the kind of money he is getting, E is what the consumer is paying, these are the intermediaries who are taking the part of this cake. how much of this cake could be transferred to the value is what we are attempting to do with digitization, hyper-local marketing, use of ONDC as a platform, enabling this value proposition for the farmer. Possibly this is only one slide which I am trying to get that theme across. One value creation in the favor of farmer would be going in for a crop diversification or enterprise diversification. That means you create more value per unit area. If you look at the entire production, composition of production, the share in the whole thing is increased more towards horticulture and the dairy fishery sector. Even in terms of the quantum of production is also significantly higher than the food grain production. Meaning the entire food basket is undergoing a change. That is where one significant value proposition to the farmer. Integrated farming system with both agriculture, horticulture, allied sectors is one which will be not only diversify, create value proposition and also kind of risk mitigation for the climate adaptation strategy for this uncertainties the climate and market is providing for. I repeat, it is the enterprise diversification which is the key for creating more value per unit area or the number of members of a family, and also in terms of climate adaptation, risk proofing coming from both market and also the climate. So that is one of the key differentiator. How do you create a value proposition at a farmer level? Having said this, the second level of value proposition is happening in terms of value per a kg of commodity I am producing. Commodity I mean I produce paddy, wheat, mangoes, amla, vegetables, everything. So what it creating is nothing but by branding. The Kotler book of management, the students you would have studied in extension or a Kotler book talks about 5P or a 6P is nothing but this starting point come from here. One is about aggregation of inputs and the outputs. When you look at when you're talking about the primary agriculture cooperative societies, which traditionally existed in all the villages, or the new set of organizations NABARD has created in terms of farmers producer organization. Meaning, I come together as a group so that I'll be able to aggregate my demand of inputs. I procure at a bulk price. Meaning, what have I done? I'm able to take the margins which the shopkeeper distributor is doing. I'm able to directly get from a super stockist. Then able to get two assurances. One is about the significant price advantage. In addition to that, it most significant is in terms of getting a quality produce, which a farmer is not currently assured of. Second is in terms of this is bringing the quality perspective, value proposition perspective, scales of economy. The same is true with output. Suppose I produce only 3 tons and my village produces 3,000 tons. When all of us come together, we are able to sell at a better price because my able to negotiate is better, able to hold is better, and able to find a better buyer is also available there. These two is one significant portion. For this to happen, traditionally we are selling our produce in a physical market where the buyer and the seller or the broker is able to assess the quality and make an aggregate quality based pricing is what negotiated between the farmer and the broker in a regulated market setup. So people are physically meeting. But what happens is the same when we visit our village, when we visit our vegetable vendor, he is doing the segregation, keeping them separately and pricing them also separately. If I am able to get this whole standardization cleaning at a farm level, 3 advantages. One is I remove those which are not to be sent to market. That reduces the entire spoilage. Second is I can segregate and differentially price it, and that by transportation losses also get reduced. Third is in terms of the packaging of the produce into retail or bulk packing. These 3 things what I am doing, aggregation to this, cleaning, standardization, packing is nothing but branding. I think all of us know branding means providing consistent quality delivered in a consistent consumer experience is nothing but a brand. Whether it is a brand of Rajnikant or a brand of any of these people promoting the brands is nothing but the assurance of the quality for which the customer is willing to pay huge amount of money. The first slide we saw, water, Bisleri or a Ganga water or a mineral water or anything is about it, is this. Whether this same value proposition can be transferred to farmers or a producer collective. Individually, it is difficult. As a collective of farmers producer, possibilities are available there. There are a lot of examples. When we move forward, we'll be taking some examples of personal experience in this. The second set of value proposition is going to come from value addition. Like a photograph shows, we are selling makka, we'll sell the corns.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Your slides are not moving.
No, I'm not moving slide, the same slide.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. So now this is the value addition is nothing but going in for a processed product. So whether you'll be able to produce at a farmers aggregation level or can I produce consumer level product like a packaged pickle or a packaged soup and other things? Possibly not. Possibly not. What we can happen is when you look at any of the example, let us say a pickle industry, we studied as a part of a consultant in Uttar Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh. People get the mangoes or other raw material in the season. They put in a good containers and do the salt and other solutions there. They're bulking it. This is nothing but a storage life of a perishable is converted into a stable produce or a bulk processing. From this, as per the demand, he is mixing the spices, bottling and selling. So this is the value proposition which is happening at a processor level. What could happen is the aggregators or FPOs can do the bulk processing and standardize and selling it to the people who have a consumer end experience available there. They do the spice production, packaging, labeling and all. So these are three set of stages of entire value chain. Once I produce, bulking it, storability is increased, then somebody is actually adding the consumer ending product and then doing and branding and selling. So this whole thing can be done. It is a value addition proposition. So then the third aspect of value proposition to a farmer happens to be value creation to the e-marketing. For example, in the e-marketing, what are we trying to do? Like all of us are now, before go to the shop, we go and Google and get into Amazon or a Flipkart, check the model, then find out where I'm getting the best price or where I'm able to get the delivery immediately. I'm willing to order there, isn't it? So e-marketing is a place where consumer and people are impulsively buying. They're able to compare the quality. So now whether a farmer can get onto these e-marketing platforms. There were a number of attempts made for a farmer producer organizations. They're able to get produce like a millets or a pickle or this kind of a dried mushrooms or a dried fish or a fish pickles. These are all commonly produced. And then they try to market on these platforms of Amazon or Flipkart or so on and so forth. The experience says they make an attempt, they do not succeed fully. Simply because 30% of that MRP or a net price, not even MRP, what price these platforms are doing is goes to the platform charges. Second, I require to have the substantial quantity, put it in a warehouses across the country and make it available as per the consumer demand within 12 hours or 24 hours. So for this to happen in a normal marketplace, for these farmers producer organizations to sell on a consumer end, which I am calling as a F2C, farmers producer organization to consumer, will be a tall order we are asking for this. Possibly this thing is going to be very limited success. But what can succeed on this platform will be, can I do a B2B? I think all of you are familiar with the B2B, business to business. That means a wholesaler is selling to a distributor kind of position. Where this farmers producer organization, the packs as FPOs, these can aggregate, do the bulk standardization, and then can do also they could also do branding, bulk packing this, and then supply to the wholesale market. So the e-marketplace, what we can do, what I call it as a F2B, or a B2B, meaning HoReCa segment. Who are the bulk consumers of the food we are producing, whether it is fish, prawn, or a chicken, or a mutton, and all these things. HoReCa is a kind of a F2B business where hotels, restaurants, and caterers. So this is a segment where lot of startups have come into play to organize the farmers and then connect with this F2B business. So this is one significant business change which is happening there. It is able to revolutionize the whole thing. Who are otherwise supplying them? This HoReCa segment is a premium segment, low margin segment. People were getting it from the multinational companies and all. Now what the Zomato had done is, because Zomato is an aggregator, he is connected to hotels. They are backward integrating and connecting with the farmers because he has a hotel as a segment or a cloud kitchen as his customer base. He is backward integrating farmers producer organizations and supplying to the HoReCa segment, meaning he is a kind of assurance of the quality of raw material his hotels are supplying to his consumer, because ultimately it's the consumer end faced by the Zomatos and others. So that kind of integration is happening. Now as a students who is aspiring to work for these value chain companies or who is aspiring to build up micro enterprises or a micro startups I call, this is one segment where you can play a significant role. You organize the farmers, already farmers are available as FPOs, you adapt them, take the technology, all your understanding of management, finance, efficiencies, productivity to these FPOs, link them to F2P market of HoReCa. Then you become a major value creator for the value chain against the inefficient system available presently. For these three entities, one is farmers producer organization, or the PACs, or the primary agriculture cooperatives, or the ONDC is nothing but a marketplace, or the market of the marketplaces. Up to this, any queries, ma'am, from any of the students? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Any queries, they can raise on the chat box so that I'll respond to that. I would like to make it a two-way conversation.
I request all the participants, if they have any of the query and the doubts, so that we can
Chat
raise
box.
the question with our expert. So the candidates are typing, sir, all are clear till now. So they don't have any. So once they will text in the text box, sir, definitely will raise the question in between of the session.
Yeah. Because now as a principal, I have a lot of these adult learning and leadership happens. I am using, I am building a model, what is called as an experiential learning model, where you observe what it is there, analyze with your experience of education, whether it is elementary level education or whether your graduate education, what you are talking about. Basic principles of the entire thing is there. You would have learned in a +2 or 8th to +2 is the basics you have learned. You can apply those basics here, then analyze, and then we'll be aiding them to go to the jargonization of your learning process. So usually I call it as a experiential learning process, where I realize with my surprise, they are so talented, they come with such unique solutions. You give them a situation. Yesterday I was with day before yesterday I was with the entire students and entire scientific community of the CDAC. You know, they have the deep learning experience, they have the deep learning, AIs, drones, IoTs, entire teams. I was just asking them, what is an NLP? Natural language processing. I was just trying to interpret that. It is nothing but, in a entomology, we study the population dynamics. All of us have studied in agriculture, students. Population dynamics, our entire pest management, integrated pest management is about managing the population build-up through a threshold by a delaying process. That's what it is done. We are never eliminating any pest or a disease. We are trying to put them under the check. You take an example of whatever all the management students are in our, I learned in an extension about a behavior of the farmers in a technology adoption. Everybody is not equal. Somebody is progressive, somebody is laggard. It is span of time and more experience of adoption. Others are all following. Again, this is a second set of, we are observing what is the observing and doing it. Fundamental experimentation methodology all of us are using for our BTech, MTech or a PhD is what? I am doing a control, I am applying certain variables, observing them, interpreting them. Isn't it? That's all we are doing. But when you look at a kind of a weather data which is coming up, it is coming at so complex data is available. Isn't it? Now, suppose when a Telugu person is talking to a Tamil person or a Malayali person, they do not know each other's language, but still they will be able to communicate. Because the language is only a part of the communication. For ma'am, the new members who would like to join, you're able to add them. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Acha, okay. So what I'm saying is now we learned this population behavior, this in a genetic students we would have understood in the Mendelian theory, a single thing we would have understood about this population genetics. Then when a behavioral scientist, meaning those who are studying MBA or in the extension, we would have studied about the behavior of a population. This is nothing but NLP, natural language processing, where I am observing the variability the way it is. The system is, the black box is creating the patterns, understanding those patterns and building a model. That is the most deep learning model is nothing but an NLP. Meaning, what am I doing? I am observing keenly in the market. Suppose if I would like to build a new startup, what do? I simply go to a market, observe closely. I want to build a brand, go to a shopping mall, take a photograph of all of them, try to see what is the styles different people are doing, what is that you like unique about them, come and do it. Isn't it? It's possible. So what we have to do in experiential learning process is go observe the market closely without taking your experience into it. You observe the way they are there, take them, analyze them. So this is a kind of process I adopted to a way greater success. I'm trying to attempt in a digital mode with all of you. That's why for that, the feedback is a basis on which we'll be able to take forward. I think 1 second. Akshay Jaiswal has a question. Akshay?
Akshat, you have raised your question. Raise your hand. Do you have any question?
Yeah. Please unmute. Please unmute, Akshay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, are you hearing my voice?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, I'm audible.
Yes.
Did you hear my voice?
Yes, yes,
Sir,
absolutely.
Sir, what's that you told me that's Horeca. What's the spelling of the Horeca? That Horeca.
H is hotel, R is restaurant, CA is nothing but the catering services.
Okay.
These are the bulk users of the food. They don't buy in 1 kg pack, they buy in 10 kg packs, which is
Sir,
easier to handle.
Sir, is it used in, it's a F, but you told me that F2B or B2B, they are the same or the different?
It's the same. See, B2B is a generic word. I am calling it as F2B, means F is a farmers producer organization to the business. F2B
Okay.
I'm talking about because I'm looking at agri value chain.
Okay. And a B2B, sir?
B2 is business to business.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I think it's good that Akshat you raised. These are common lingo used in this marketing term. It is
Okay,
called
sir.
as D2C. D2C means direct to consumer.
Okay.
And now a lot of these you come on to a WhatsApp groups, Facebook
Yes, sir.
sales, all this, you in your own home, you make the food, you design the clothes, sell it directly through your digital channel. That is direct to consumer. So
Okay.
you require multiple talents of the product design, production, and also able to market and make it deliver. That is D2C. D2C
Okay.
is nothing but I'm a producer, I'm directly connected with consumer, no intermediaries are available there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, that is a small possibility, but now they're also trying to expand it to bigger possibilities after this marketplace. Everybody is able to set up their own website. Now their
Hmm.
influencers are available. Influencers are somebody who is paid to advertise. They are
Hmm.
equally expensive like a brand ambassadors.
Okay,
Influencer
sir.
is nothing but I have a 1 million followers because of uniqueness I create, and I want to put my product. They when they endorse it, all that people will blindly buy. There is a power of. I have another meaning for the branding is blindly believe.
Yes.
Once you experience that this is good, rest of your life you start believing that. There was an experiment done by the cigarette companies. It's about three decades back. People were paying a premium segment, premium price to one particular brand of cigarette. There is a
Yes, sir.
segment who are willing to pay more for it and they die for it. The company was not able to produce that quality significantly. They had certain production backlogs. What they did is,
Okay.
but they want to get the price. They tested whether the consumers are able to differentiate between a product which is two notches low quality. They tried with a blind test. They found 88% of the people could not recognize. Meaning,
Okay.
the the blind faith, they are able to adjust their experience. So the first time when this is nothing but autopiloting, no? In our driving and swimming, we try to know the theory. Once our muscles memory comes, we do automatically. Branding is
Yes.
also nothing but a unconscious way of believing things, buying things is a branding. So this is
Hmm.
exactly the basic principles we understand. You'll be able to meet the requirement of the farmer. Is it
Hmm.
okay, Jaiswal? Now the
Yes, sir.
second portion is called as a B2B, D2C. In fact, now they're talking about a C2B also. When we come to that, we'll explain. Is it
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So this is the entire value proposition. We would like to make it at a farmer level, meaning a producer organization level. Whether the companies would do it, whether ITC, HL or Patanjali will do it, or the disruption is there in between game, which I am calling it as a micro startups. For deliberately, I'm using a micro startup strategy for this agribusiness value chain because the startups which are in a consumer front, they are burning huge amount of money because the PE money is coming. That kind of money may not be available for this kind of a startup where we are talking about hyper local markets, meaning the size of the market consumer base is local in nature. Because of that nature, PE is not going to spend money, burn money for you to acquire customers. I think all of you know all these Zomatos and all burn money. They offer discount freebies because somebody is investing money to become a consumer addicted to Zomato first. Once you are addicted, I will make money. When you start making more money, I will make money. Now you know, earlier everything was free. Now the delivery charges are there. You want it to be delivered quickly, you pay more for this. So this micro startups I'm looking at is a strategy where you operate on a hyper local market, not a global market. What the present level of companies operating there. Maybe we'll elaborate with few stories. Hyper local market is produce local for the local consumer. When I was in Manipur, during walking, I went to the airport. I saw every day, 2-3 days, I saw occasion where they were bulk exporting local vegetables to Pune, Bangalore, and Delhi. It surprised me. because these are the places where you get lot of fresh vegetables. They are unique. They are largest producers of the vegetable in the country. And Manipur trying to sell 2 quintals of, excuse me, 2 quintals of vegetables daily. When I checked up, sir, this is for only Manipuri boys and girls who are living in these places. They are accustomed to the taste and the flavor of these vegetables produced locally. Which are those vegetables? Common vegetable. Kaddu, tomato, cucumber, cabbage, all these things. They're also selling duck meat. They're also selling some pork also. So they are attached, they believe these vegetables carry unique taste which they are missing because they consume raw cabbage as a salads. So obviously they would have started with cabbage. They are able to differentiate the quality different, flavor different, spicing difference of a Manipuri cabbage. But then they would have said, okay, the same will be true with all other vegetables. Now, when you look at these hybrid tomatoes, people have created what they call it as desi tomatoes and charge you 40% more because it contains more juice, store less. Now, the hybridization they have done to build desi type quality hybrids who are high yielders, high juice. So this the same thing also farmers are able to sell, or not the farmer, the seller is able to call it as a desi tomato and able to get a premium price from the market. So this is about ethnic connect or ethical food. Ethical food mean what? I am connected to roots of the place where I come from. I would like to contribute to the development of that place. So this is about ethnic or ethical foods is a segment where there is lot of opportunities for a hyper local market. When I say hyper local market here, meaning the produce is coming from a particular ethnic community, targeted not necessarily nearby. I am anyhow supplying to the nearby market. I am also supplying to the people of my ethnicity who are living across the globe. If any one of you have experienced, lot of people from southern India are in US. When you see their courier services, you will be astonished. They are buying and there are exclusive shops for packing only for the export consumers of that. Everything is premium, packaging is premium, labeling is premium, and the produce is also premium. Everything is premium, meaning I don't consume that here, but when I am sending it to my daughter or son, I am paying 3 times of the price and selling it there. Why am I willing to pay there? Because the price of the produce is only 30% or less than the courier cost I am paying, meaning I am paying a 600 rupees for courier charges. Why not I get a produce made only in pure ghee, cow ghee? So because the courier costs are high, consumers are tended to give them premium produce and then supply to their children abroad. So this is even when I say hyper local marketing means or ethnic or ethical food, meaning I am producing to a particular ethnic community, price it, premiumize it, pack it and deliver to them. You need not deliver, don't bother. You have to create that confidence among the community. I also belong to the same ethnicity. I also have the traditional values of the quality of the pickle, flavor of the pickle. Then I am producing for your children. So you pay for this, do your courier services. So this is one model where a number of young people can set up their startups. I know 3 of them in Manipur like state, they are able to send across this. Now I know whether Yai has joined or not. Yai, have you joined?
Sir, I'm here, sir.
Oh, great. Welcome. Let us welcome Mr. Yai. He is a 10 to 15 years of IT experience with GE. He was working as their lead architect. Before COVID, he thought there's his entrepreneurial bug brought him to Manipur and he got stuck there because of the COVID. He built an app who is part of the ONDC ecosystem. In the ONDC ecosystem, we have three set of people. The ONDC is a platform where there is a buyer app and a seller app. Buyer app means you create an app for the purpose of the buyers. Who is the buyer in this ONDC? Is the consumers. Seller app means, seller means like in this case, whether it is a farmers producer organization, weavers producer organization, or a MSME, food processing industry, anyone who is producing and branding and selling to ultimate consumer, they will be operating through a seller app. So he is the one who had built the seller app. In fact, my inspiration to get connected to the subject and get into the root of this happened to be my charts meeting with him when the ONDC entire team and came for a training program on my campus at Lucknow about a month or 2 months back. So that is an example where he brought those technologies available where you can produce these ethnic foods and supply to an ethnic community. They may be living in a cluster basis anywhere in the world. If you look at in each one of us, when you look at, there are, when you say Punjabi Dabas are everywhere. Whether you go in Punjab, whether you go in Tamil Nadu, Kerala or Madhya Pradesh, you will have a Punjabi Daba where the cook may not be a Punjabi guy. It may be a Odia guy who is preparing a Punjabi dish. But when I enter a Punjabi, I think that tadka is available, butter chicken is available. So there's a consistency of the spice which are used, whether prepared by a Punjabi cook or a Odia cook or a Bengali cook, hardly matters. So that is about the ethnic branding of it, where you're able to give, I'm giving an example. Then as a local producer, I should be able to supply the same quantity, quality of the produce he's branding them. Like usually the Punjabi guy will be trying to get the spices from Punjab. Those spices, chili would have been produced in Bangalore, Hyderabad and Karnataka and Telangana only. So identify what he is buying, locally source or produce and do it. There's one more thing in terms of the farmers producer collectives getting onto this bandwagon. No farmer or a village will be able to supply everything to what is a F2B market I'm referring to. You produce the core product, aggregate from other villages and supply everything together. This is one significant difference one has to learn if you want to succeed as a micro startup. So you are interacting with a number of FPOs, guiding them, aggregating them. You become an aggregator, aggregators, standardize them, bulk it, brand it, and sell it in a B2B market. Earlier it was a F2B market. Now you no more a farmer. You are calling us a B2B market or a B2C market or a D2C market, whatever the way. So this is about the role micro startups have in this. The entire skilling program of the government of India is trying to build the manpower for manning this kind of a micro startups. Unfortunately, they are going and joining as an employee. We require to build a startup ecosystem where we nurture these entrepreneurs like you. Maybe out of 100, only 10 may succeed. But our effort is to build an ecosystem of micro startups where 10% of you will succeed. This is one example where the digital marketing or ONDC is going to enable that, increase the level of success of a micro startups in the food value chain. Second is about an organized retail in a gated communities. So other day I was in Hyderabad for a week. Then I went to buy vegetables. In the same premises, there is a vegetable store is available. There is also a provision store available. Then somebody was supplying a number of Amazon, Zomato products are available. I just asked that Zomato guy, Amazon guy, where is your warehouse? He says, sir, I don't go to warehouse. 6 of them are stationed at my gated community with 3,000 houses. 6 of them are available. Their job is to deliver from the gate to the home only. Each one is getting a 1,200 rupees minimum per day, because for doing this, they are paid some 30 rupees for each delivery from a gate to your thing. Imagine the number of packets which are coming from outside the gate. When I looked at the composition, more than 40 to 50% of them happen to be provision, fruits and vegetables, for which there already stores are available within the gated community itself. And there is also a medical shop available. Then because of this opportunity, I went and talked to these two guys. They say, sir, I have this 3,000 families are living in 3 phases. There are 4 stores available. I own all the 4 stores. Meaning, this is a kind of a startup where this guy is having a 4 shops in 4 different places selling vegetable. Another entrepreneur is having 4 department stores located at 4 locations. So his common logistics available, he is able to supply to them. What he is not doing, he is only able to deliver to home on a specific request. He has not engaged an extra person to do this. What is the difference between Flipkart, who are charging 30% to the producer, and this guy is only required to, and 30 rupees a delivery he is able to do. And these shopkeepers are selling at MRP, other fellow is selling at a discount. The point I am trying to make with the example of organized retail in gated communities, when I am having a 3 or 4 stalls, I should have an IT backup available. Second, I build a people who will go and supply at a door delivery. If this is done, now I'm experimenting with these 4 set of people, want to showcase them, market share of the local store available, because you can instantly do, where Zomato and others are trying to deliver in 30 minutes, they fail. You can succeed, you have an advantage of a delivery within 30 minutes, provided you are doing a digital marketing which is hyper local. This is another opportunity where micro startups digitally enabled will be able to achieve. How many of you think that this is a possibility? You would like to join this? Any hands? Yeah. If there are no queries, no, Akshat, can I ask the next question?
Sir, hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Please, I'm able to hear you.
Sir, I couldn't get your presentation. It is not showing again, sir. The presentation आपका दिख नहीं रहा है.
नहीं अभी नहीं अभी for I have stopped it for
Sorry?
I have stopped it for the chat. I want to take the feedback because I gave you 2 examples: ethical and
Okay.
this second thing, hyper local marketing in a gated communities. I just want to know a feedback from any one of you who would like to know more or have a comment to offer on this possibility. Because we are for this to enable. In fact, now I am encouraging AI to build a software so that it's a common software. The entrepreneur's ability to manage more than 1 stall is limited. Only technology can enable them. They can only get this customer experience only when you are able to back up with an IT framework. So, but AI is too busy to build that platform for me. I am trying other people to build for us as an experimentation. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Saurabh is asking me a question. Price increase in remote markets due to, see, because there is even among the scientists, teachers is a misbelief. Because they're saying, what is the consumer pie? What in the farmer's pie, in the consumer, what he pays? Now I am going and buying a makka butta for 30 rupees. Farmer is only getting 8 rupees. The lot of money is made by this retailer. Because we don't understand, a lot of cost get involved from a farmer produce makka to reach you in your village, in your township, takes a lot of effort. One is about levels of volume at a farmer is high, levels of a volume at a retailer is very high. Retailers volumes are less, he required to build a lot of margins available. Let us say I do online, the transportation cost is, I said the example, from gate to the home is paid 30 rupees. So that is a kind of cost for each packet. If somebody is supplying us zero cost, meaning is a PE money is burnt so that you become a slave to his bond, slave to his brand, and slave to his platform. So he is not making money. So when a farmer or a small MSME food processing company want to do on this platform, they have invariably charged 30 rupees, 30%. Same is true with Ola, Uber. But now what has happened? Now that they built the market, more consumers are joining the segment. Rapido came and they're only taking a platform charges, not a percentage charges. Similarly, from the Amazon to Flipkart to ONDC is that I call them as a Rapido of the marketplace, where they will be charging fixed charges, what actually it is costing them for transportation. Then you'll be able to bring more customers, more micro MSMEs and micro startups onto the game. Shall we go back? I may take one more example. In terms of yesterday I was with Additional Secretary Animal Husbandry and the entire set of the NDDB teams in Bangalore. I am currently calling you from Bangalore. They are planning, because the government is having the NDDB, lot of private sector players, also the international players are getting into this milk bandwagon, trying to sell this country. I think how many of you are aware of this country fresh milk is premium charging. Then when I went to the local store where I reside, there is another guy who is also calling it as a organic milk, charging 120 rupees a half liter. So there are consumers available in these gated communities who are willing to pay more price. Whether the value is real or virtual is not a matter. If you remember now that yesterday there was one, who is that called? One band. They advertised for the tickets. All the tickets got sold in 30 minutes. Now they are available for a premium in the secondary market, available there. So people wanting to, for the sake of, as a hep value, now I'm consuming organic foods, I'm consuming this local food, I'm consuming this ethical food. So this is a kind of people who are willing to pay. This is what I call it as a premiumizing the food. For a rich person, you say that, okay, this is coming from this cultural context. This is for very poor people. They are very climate smart people. They are the one who are protecting this globe in terms of the climate. Whatever value you have, because all these rich people have a guilty feeling. So we will try to connect it to this and get the value proposition. We supply them quality, but premiumize them through this hyper local marketing strategy. Now, when I'm talking about this milk value chain, now we are building up everything is centralized. Milk is collected centralized, processed centralized, and it is coming back to consumer once again. They find this entire travel of the milk from producer to processor to consumer is very, very high. In Kerala, when we were working, because the Kerala gets milk from the adjoining states, what they found is it is difficult. It is more expensive to produce milk local in Kerala because the grass is not available, labor is not available, meaning very expensive. The cost of production is higher than what the transport of the milk is able to do. When we promoted farmers producer organizations, they came with an idea themselves. Sir, when I try to supply at the same price as the local Nandini or other brands, NDDB brand Amul, I cannot make money. What they've done is they try to just milk it, put it in a bottle, or an auto rickshaw, they go and deliver immediately. He said, boss, this is fresh from the udder. It is only 30 minutes old. The milk you are consuming could be anything more than 3 days to 5 days old milk. It could be longer also. So they are creating able to market. So this is another model which we are attempting with Government of India, where farmers collectives, whether SHG federations or the micro startups which are tech enabled, they give us consistent quality, but that quality is unique to that area. For example, a paneer, there is a Indo-Dutch project which is implemented by this Government of India, where they have sought our collaboration for building this strategy, where each paneer produced in each village is different from the neighboring village. In Europe, when you see, the cheese is also farm-based. Alcohol or the liquor is also farm-based. The tea, the premium tea is also each farm-based. But whether I am able to sell that premium quality, can I market? That is a strategy we are doing under this Indo-Dutch project, where localized production, the cheese and the paneer will be marketed with an absolute standardized delivery process. Cleanliness, quality control is given, but the taste of paneer is unique to that region depending on the local quality milk produced. They cannot use milk from the outside. Similarly, the cheese also will be used to the local taste. Once I am able to build these two products standardized, we'll also be export orienting this entire value chain. So this is the export orienting this, leveraging the technologies available, which is available at a micro scale, to the export consumer market. Meaning, imagine we are able to maintain that levels of quality standards. It meets the FDA norms of US before I export the foods. It's not as easy said. That's the reason why we are experimenting this in a selective basis, 2 products of milk, where the Dutch government want to supply this locally produced paneer and cheese. They wanted cheese, government insisted on a paneer to supply to the 5-star hotels, which presently they are importing. So we will produce on the common brand of Indo-Dutch brand, but local taste for the local consumer. So we are building an array of local taste brands for meeting the similar master brand of Indo-Dutch paneer, Indo-Dutch cheese. That's an experiment we are doing. Invite all of you for further discussion. One-to-one, I am sharing my numbers. The same is true, with absolutely true. Each community has its own flavor and taste for what they consume. Spices, pickles, mutton. The Chettinad chicken mean that area, certain community hotel, like the Kamath vegetable, common restaurant will have their cooks and taste is coming from the coastal area of Karnataka. Similarly, you can build around Jabalpur also, isn't it? So this is about an offering. It's an invisible potential. Now we require to make it visible by a specific program orientation. Once you're able to establish this, EPEDA worked on this local ethnic produce. They are connecting to the international market by a special scheme of fresh produce. Now we are trying to do a process produce so that we'll be able to store it for a longer time, increase the volume, increase the period of our supplies. This is a micro startup theme I wanted to discuss with you. I think with these 2 slides sums up what I wanted to convey. Ma'am, how much more time I have? Hello? Swati ma'am? Swati ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
How much more time I have, ma'am? This is the 2 important messages I wanted to convey. How much more time I have? Accordingly, I will modulate the rest.
Maybe 15 minutes, sir. 15 to 20 minutes.
Fine with me. Yeah. So this is about, like I already explained about the F2B or a business to model, business to consumer model, consumer to consumer model. This is one example where, whether it is Airbnb or OLX, or in fact now in Bangalore one app is developed where in a community I prepare breakfast for, I am a family of 3, I prepare for 5 and put it on the app. my home, Maddie's has 2 plates of extra idli prepared. Who wants it? Now they are grabbing this. All the bachelors are no more ordering the Zomato. They are coming and deliver. They are picking up from their producers gate. They are coming and picking up. In the process, what have I achieved? I have achieved a micro market where one is able to enjoy the taste of everybody there and saved a lot of food miles which you are consuming. It gets into a carbon footprint. This is possibly more sustainable. Every kitchen is converted into a cloud kitchen, but a limited amount of supply. Depending on, some of them can become a cloud kitchen for a micro market, isn't it? I will have a 10 people are there connected by this app guy. He's only picking up, delivery also can be done. This is how you build the markets. So NABARD, we had experimented a number of efforts where, especially in the areas of handloom sector, we funded some of this like a Shilpi Hut or a Crafts India. We made an effort. We made with a limited success. This is one example where in the My Store app, where we tried to bring the producers, consumers together. So, but it's not a child's play. With our hardware, we realized it is not that easy. Just producer is producing, consumer available, bringing the one platform was not there. It requires tremendous effort and all. So there is a navigating e-commerce is not, I should know my target audience, I should have my secured payment methods, I should have a transparent usage, authenticity of supplier. That is, so many difficulties are there. All these are attempted to be addressed by this ONDC platform. ONDC platform meaning, yeah, anyone would like to say this? I will leave this as a surprise. You discover the meaning of ONDC. All of you have a Google access. So here this is a platform of platform. It is like Amazon's, Flipkart's and so many other people who want to do. All of them are come to a ONDC network. It is like a UPI payment. I may have an account with any bank. I go to any marketplace, purchase a Golgappa, or I swipe my card in a liquor shop. Money is getting transferred seamlessly, because for that there is a stack available, which is called as a UPI stack. That's why seamlessly people are able to come. Large number of entrepreneurs come. What I'm calling it as a digital public good. In fact, now the India in the G20 promoted this and now exporting this to the world. So now we tried an experiment before joining this ONDC. We had a training partner promoting all this with a technical partner. Then an onboarding support. We made an effort by having anchor agency, a training partner. We tried with a limited success, because the volumes they're able to do, the effort required, that capabilities are not able to be built in these anchor agencies. We have done with number of partners, technical partners we have done. Yeah, now I can say these are the local players. Some of them are capable of onboarding themselves onto onboard as a technical providers, as a seller app or a buyer app, otherwise. So this is our effort in terms of lot of effort is going on the ONDC. In fact, we have a special effort going on bringing FPOs to consumers through Radio Mirchi and others. We want to popularize, both the producers know the consumer expectation and also branding the ONDC as access, which we are attempting now. These are some of the produce which are supported through ONDC initiative and NABARD. So number of people are partners in this. More and more is going to join for us. Excuse me. Maybe rather than I speak about this, this is an enabling environment which happened where everyone is having a mobile. We are one of the biggest data consumers in the world, biggest, because we got it the cheapest. This gives sum up about the daily time spent on the media. All of us, you know, how much you spend on the mobile and how much you spend on educating yourself outside the mobile. I think I need not speak about these numbers to a point of addictivity. Now they have hospitals for deducting the people from the mobile. Yeah,
Sir,
would you like to take forward from here?
sure, definitely. So, I mean, if there are,
Yeah, I will. Yeah, you have just one thing for your benefit. I will just give the slides. This is what I have done. Simple slides only. ONDC clients. And this is how you can explain how you take them to know. I think possibly that's a better option, no?
yes, yeah, please switch to the slide and then I'll just.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, please. You're able to see, no, slide?
No, sir. Your slide is still at slide number 5. This is the M startups.
Why is it so?
Okay,
One
yeah,
second.
I can see. Yeah, it's now there.
You can see now?
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay. Yeah. Over to Mr. I. He is a startup guy. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So everyone, a very good afternoon. And my name is Yaikomba. I am founder of Advil Solutions Private Limited. We are a startup based out of Manipur, Northeast, and we are also a technology partner as well as a seller application in Open Network for Digital Commerce. So far, it has been like about a little more than 24 months that we have been associated with ONDC. What I would like to do is today just walk you through what ONDC is all about, and then probably have, as Sir has already explained you about ONDC, maybe we can have a more interaction where you can ask me queries, and then based on our personal live experience about ONDC, I can answer those questions in, right? So in very simple terms, yes, ONDC is basically going to become the UPI of digital commerce in the very near future, right? And that's what we have been working on. And Open Network for Digital Commerce is basically set up by the Ministry of Commerce, the DPIT, uh, with a goal to see how digital commerce can be democratized in India. And when we talk about democratizing, we are basically talking about how do we include every single citizen of the country, every cover the breadth and width of the breadth and length of the entire country and make it part of the digital commerce, right? And if you look at it, it's just not called e-commerce. We have called it digital commerce because what it intends to do is anything this can be sold and anything this can be transacted will come under the purview of Open Network for Digital Commerce. That's the goal, right? So today, we see that we have all these e-commerce platforms, starting from Amazons to Flipkarts to your Myntra, Nykas. And then on the food side, you have Zomato, Swiggy's. Then you have on the mobility side, we have Ola, Uber, and all this, right? All these are called platforms, right? And then why are they called platforms? Because they run in a model where it is sort of controlled by a single entity, right? Today, so for example, when you do shopping from Amazon, you use an Amazon app. The seller who's selling it to you will probably use an Amazon application, and then the delivery happens to a Amazon affiliated or Amazon transport service. So that means from the entire value chain, starting from the supply, demand to supply to the delivery, is controlled by a single entity, and it's closed. When we say it's closed, that means any other entity who wants to be part of it cannot join that entity unless they become have some agreements with that player, right? So now, and the other thing that you would have seen is when you are using Amazon, you cannot probably purchase something which is listed on Flipkart, right? That cannot happen, right? And from a seller's perspective, what happens is if you are selling on Amazon because you want to tap to the market which Amazon brings, then you realize that okay, there's another market which is served by Mishra or an Flipkart. What you have to do as a seller is you again go have to go out, register with those platforms separately, have separate terms and conditions, and then connect with them. So now, as a seller, I am now having to have multiple relationships and agreements with different platforms, right? The other piece is most of the terms and conditions are always the entity centric or the platform centric, in which means they are not really seller friendly, right? All that open network for digital commerce plans to change by ensuring that it is open. And when we say open, what is really happening is you have the whole value chain is divided into smaller chunks, right? For example, on one side you have demand, which is where people will come and buy. So you have a set of e-commerce applications, websites, and all who are connected and part of the network who brings in demand. Like they, for example, Paytm, My Store, Craft Villa, or Nama Yatri, or Yatri Sathi. All these are buyer applications which bring in supply, right? Sorry, demand. Now and then on the other side, there are these applications which cater to the supply part. Where, for example, Adbel and or a seller app or a My Store, we are entities who work with people who want to sell on the network. So we kind of cater to the demands of the producers, I would say, whether it be any type of service or it can be any type of product. We help them connect to the network, so the supply comes in. Then you have all these logistic companies who are from starting from DDDC logistics to delivery to Shiprocket, who are again connected to the network and then does the job of delivering products from the producers to the buyer. So that's how the entire value chain is connected. And then, of course, there are other ancillary services like, for example, today we have financial services that are coming in. You have payment gateways that are coming. There are different type of services which are part of the network now. But the good part now is, if you really look at it, everybody is doing a job in which they are good at. So today, for example, Paytm can talk to Adbel. Adbel can talk to a logistic company like DDDC, and the entire from transaction to delivery, from purchase to delivery, I would say, all happen seamlessly, even though there are multiple entities being involved. Just like how you today you use a Google Pay to transfer money from your account to someone else's account who may not be connected to you, right? Just through Google Pay, just like using the UPI, this thing. So that's how the ONDC is being built up. And as ONDC builds up, the next biggest push is where we are pushing towards Agri and B2B sector, where there will be demand of discoverably coming in, where buyers can be connected to multiple sellers, like for example FPOs. And then the next step is where ONDC will allow exports to happen. So today, I mean that yes, we have initiated some initial trials, connecting with Singapore and Dubai, where we have done some initial experimental transactions, I would say. The next step would be where ONDC will allow connection of this exports. And so if someone can Singapore tomorrow, once the whole establishment is done, can buy something from a seller in, say, sitting in Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal, example, right? And then the whole logistics will be taken care of. Your entire exports thing will be taken care of. It becomes seamless. So in a nutshell, that's how ONDC is stepping up, and it is
Hello. I think some disturbance on the voice. Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nobody mentioned about it. Yeah.
It's muted.
Yeah, now it is. You are audible.
Okay. Sorry about that. I think I was speaking for a long time and with this whole this thing. So
Fine,
let
yeah.
me come again. So sorry about it. I think we was like,
No. I think no. Just now only you got disconnected. Otherwise, you are very clear.
okay. All right. So that's the whole context of where ONDC will now enable B2B, ONDC will. So when we say talk about B2B, yes, some initial trials have been done where we connected with trial markets in Singapore and Dubai. So that means tomorrow through ONDC, a farmer producer organization sitting in Bhopal will be able to supply to a buyer somewhere in Singapore or any of other countries where ONDC will be expanding. Right. Any specific questions around ONDC that I can share with? And if you ask me about how is the growth happening on ONDC side, yes, there is a lot of growth happening. So when the first transaction happened way back in 2022, I would say it was just like about 5 orders per day. Now I think it's almost 1 million transactions happening in a day. ONDC is now available in more than 600. In terms of the services that ONDC, you from not only groceries to F&B, food and beverages, ONDC allows you to use mobility services. Like for example, Namayatri in Bengaluru, Yari Sati in Kolkata. You have Yare in Pune. I'm sorry, in Hyderabad, and then you have this thing, Orixo, which is coming up in Pune. It's all work in this open mobility framework where rather than taking a commission from the drivers, it is primarily based on a subscription model where the driver doesn't have to sell off a huge portion of their earnings as commissions. So that's a good opportunity and does have a very positive impact on the lives of the drivers. Similarly, in logistics, there is a lot of innovation and I would say change bringing in, because ONDC allows a lot of flexibility to come in. And then the other piece is this will allow a lot of connectivity opening up in the last mile and the first mile sectors where new startups can come in, and they don't have to really worry about demand generation now, because the demand will be created by all these applications. They will come in and plug in those areas where there is a gap in, for example, last mile delivery, where so the serviceability range of certain commodities can start increasing. So there is a lot of opportunity that ONDC brings in. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Yai, for joining us and enriching the whole of the triad. You have taken charge of the ONDC because I would like to summarize our 1 hour 15 minutes of conversation into an experiential learning summary. Commodity marketing presently, what is happening at a agriculture level can be taken into a consumer marketing model through micro startups. And we do what is value capture to value creation. Earlier, we were trying to delayer them by the ENAM and others, or a warehouse structure, warehouse accreditation and warehouse-based financing, where the value capture we were trying to do. Now we are creating a value creation through value addition and also branding value or the premiumization. So M startup is a layer where they can build this entire value chain by reaching to the rich consumer segment, which we call it as a niche segment. So market is a biggest leveler. So there is a scope. Anybody can come and do if you are capable of doing it, you can disrupt the market. ONDC is a platform meant for disruptors like each one of you. Have a potential, which we call it as a NLP or a natural learning process is what is language process, what you have to behave like one. Experiential learning process meaning self-learn through observe, analyze, and adapt. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
These are my contact. I think my numbers are also available with Swati ma'am. Also, I'll share with Yai's number as well, so that you could share it with all these participants, ma'am.
Yes, sir. For sure, sir.
Yeah.
And sir, there is one question like how our students will take the advantage of this ONDC thing and how they can, do as they have their good startup ideas and all. So.
So one way to do is, ma'am, like you shortlist those students who have an
Yes, sir.
aspiration to, whether do they have the skill or not, I am not bothered much, have their aspiration and the fire in the belly to join this ONDC platform. So we will connect physically, further to require a one-to-one conversation. And I think I'll request Yai also to join there, even if other join, whether I join physically or digitally, that's no issue. So that you have to find a niche market. I think my entire effort is to get that hyper local market and a product which can be attempted immediately. So it does not require crores of money. It might just require an experiment with a 1 lakh investment, which may be equivalent to 1 year of their pocket money. So if they're willing to do, I think I can help you to build, provide you a platform where your produce is put on the ONDC platform, make it available across the globe, depending on the kind of product you have in the market.
Yes, absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. And there is one raised hand by sir. So kindly
Okay.
unmute, sir. And if you
Yeah.
have any question, you can raise.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, please.
Myself, Dr. S.K. Rao, former Vice Chancellor, Rajmata Vijayaraj India Krushi Viswavidyalaya, Gwalior. And
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, Namaste, sir, Namaste.
Sir,
I think
namaskar.
you have given excellent presentation, linking these farmer producer companies with the changing scenario of the dynamic markets to the consumers' requirements. I think it is a wonderful enlightenment lecture, or even for the students and the faculty members also. I had a few suggestions in this.
Please, sir.
Then ONDC is a very good platform, you rightly said, but it is not getting penetrated into the public sector commercial organizations in the country. Recently, I have reviewed the National Seed Corporation's revamping of the corporation, which is running in the use laws. The basic problem is that the marketing. They could not able to connect their seed supply chains to the consumers' markets, especially the farmers and also the dealers, distributors, networking. That is one thing. And now the cooperative sector is also coming up in a big way under the Ministry of the Cooperation Ministry for the seed sector and other agri input supply systems, and even the commodity trading also, they will be come up in future. And all those things, they can use this platform ONDC. Definitely better revenues can be generated through this platform, and that the farmers also will get the benefit out of that. So that is one thing, and that requires a huge infrastructure. It is not just like that. If you are having 10, 15 startups, we can create the whole, manage the whole production of this country to the supply chain and reaching to the consumers. And one is the development of the strong value chains, you rightly said. That is important, that has been neglected in this country, as you are all aware, as a CGM of the NABARD. The value chains have not been properly well organized till today. Even today also, most of the crops, the value chain have not been developed properly. And the supply chain systems and the infrastructure has been created by the warehousing to the different schemes, either to the NABARD or even for the state warehousing corporations and other Government of India Ministry of Agriculture schemes. But other things are also required. The IT platforms, you rightly said, a lot of IT platforms needs to be created to facilitate, make it easy buying. They're sitting at home. And not only Flipkart and Amazon, there may be many other options for the consumers so that they can get it at cheaper rates. And the producer also will get a better benefit through the branding from F2B. F2B is a huge scope in this country now. We have created a lot of FUOs. Madhya Pradesh is the first state, you might be knowing, the first FUO has been created. We could able to 40 years back. Now we had a very good network of FUOs. How to capitalize these FUOs to F2B and then reaching to the B2C and through the IT platforms. Though that lot of work is to be done by the IT people, and then even the retailers and the marketers, everybody's brain is to be included in that. And I think it is a very good presentation that you have given enlightenment to everyone. The lot of changes will come within 10-15 years. And it may take some more time. Thank you very much for nice presentation.
Thank you, sir, Professor, sir. In fact, it's nice to get connect with you. Two things important point, sir. One is about a public sector seed corporation able to produce quality seed, so as a number of the state level seed corporations.
Yeah.
They have their organized farmers. They are able to sell only with on the top of a subsidy. They are not able to sell without subsidy. Possibly, I think it's a great suggestion, sir. Opportunity, yeah, because here your buyer app, the seller app becomes a buyer app by nature of the produce you are getting. Suppose we connect to them, possibly we can create a market which ONDC has not thought about. Sir, thank you for, and I think if Samasivara Garu or anybody can be willing to incubate this idea in a particular state, I personally and also professionally would like to mentor that whole process and make it succeed, sir. Thank you for. Second thing you suggested about this, there is an ecosystem building is there. NABARD has come out with a scheme where to handhold this. In fact, NABARD is the first investor in ONDC. In fact, a massive effort is going on creating an awareness about a ONDC platform itself among the producers and the consumers, but it's a long way to go. In fact, I had an interaction with an Agri-Tech guy. We said it is not a FPO onboarding will give you the volumes. It is going to the SRM level of organization which we do. But NABARD has entered into MOU with SRLM, sir. Possibly will connect the entire federation of SHG groups so that the demand is constant, produce decentralized. We can adopt certain of those products. As in our NABARD, anything produced in rural areas is my domain of interest. Just I thought that I'll take one example of a food and explain the whole process. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No further question, I suppose. And meanwhile, if you'll find any of the queries, you can kindly send us the mail so we can directly contact Dr. Rao for the further solution of your problem. So again, I hope you all found today's session on digital marketing and hyperlocal branding of value-added agri-produce through ONDC a game changer. So as an insightful and inspiring as I did, so I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. M.S. Rao and Mr. Yak, for sharing their invaluable expertise and insights with us today. Your deep understanding of the complexity of the digital marketing and the innovative potential of hyper-local branding in the agricultural sector has opened our eyes to the new possibilities that we are looking about. So the examples you provided, sir, about the leveraging the ONDC platform for enhancing the marketing reach and visibility for value-added agri-products were particularly enlightening us. So it's clear that we are on the brink of a significant transformation in how agricultural produce is marketed and consumed. And your guidance will undoubtedly help us navigate this new landscape. So thank you for your passion and for taking the time to answer our questions. Your willingness to share your knowledge and experience truly enriches our community. We look forward to applying for what we have learned today and continuing the conversation in the future. So once again, thank you. Thank you both of you for your time and for being with us today in this session. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, ma'am. In fact, my job and a mandate is to take the insights, which I'm a product of a public funded institutions. My effort is to take to those students and give those insights directly. Each one may not be as blessed as me in terms of great teachers and means of learning which have been provided with. I'm privileged to have all of you. Thanks once again to your team and Professor Ashish Mishra, Dr. Swati, Dr. Gontia, and of course Dr. Samasivara Garu and Professor S.K. Rao Garu and all the participants. And I'm available. That number is available. Anyone would like to take forward this? This is just a kind of a window of opportunities available with your students. I'm sure at least 3 to 5 of the students would like to connect with us, take forward into a kind of an internship with a skin in the game. It's not for a certification purpose. I'm not available, unfortunately. I'm too preoccupied. If somebody is willing to put a skin in the game, yes, when they make 5 steps, I will make 20 steps for them to succeed in their ventures. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Yai, for joining. and making it really more meaningful.
I'm there, sir. I'm there, but in silent mode.
No, sir, not about you, sir. I'm talking about Yai, sir. Our
Yes, sir.
the Manipur startup guy who took charge of that. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
So much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye,
much.
sir.